Bringing a new puppy home is one of the most exciting experiences in the world. But without a plan, that first night is often loud, messy, and stressful. We can lower that anxiety. By the end of this guide, you'll have a customized crate setup and a proactive mathematical schedule to help you achieve 0 indoor accidents. To succeed, you need 5 specific prerequisites: a crate, a rubber-backed bath rug or waterproof bed, training treats, a puppy-safe chew toy, and an enzymatic somatic cleaner. Gathering these items is the first step in building a secure den. This environment provides the physical boundaries your puppy needs to start distinguishing their sleeping quarters from their bathroom. Step 1 is selecting the correctly sized crate and setting up the interior lining. Your puppy must be able to stand up, turn around, and lie down comfortably with absolutely no extra room. If the crate is too large, your puppy will use one corner as a bedroom and the other as a bathroom, stopping the housebreaking process. For bedding, a waterproof pad or a rubber-backed bath rug is ideal. The rubber prevents the lining from bunching up or sliding around as the puppy moves. For the first night, position this crate right next to your bed. As pack animals, dogs are comforted by the nighttime sounds of their sleeping pack members. Before you close the crate door, you must remove the puppy's collar. A collar can easily snag on the crate's wire mesh and lead to fatal strangulation. A perfectly sized, collar-free den next to your bed addresses the puppy's separation anxiety while guaranteeing their physical safety through the night. Once the den is ready, you must introduce your puppy to it. One absolute rule is to never force them into the crate against their will. Instead, use a high-value training treat or a stuffed Kong to lure them inside voluntarily. Close the door for a few seconds while they eat, then immediately open it back up. This builds trust by showing them that the crate is a positive experience and that the door always opens. With the puppy comfortable, we move to the overnight strategy. Because a puppy has a tiny bladder, you need a proactive alarm schedule, rather than waiting for them to wake you up by crying. This is the potty math for nighttime holds. A puppy can hold their bladder 2 hours for every month of age. If your puppy is 2 months old, set your alarm for exactly 4 hours after their final pre-bedtime potty trip. When that alarm sounds, carry the puppy immediately outside. Wait for them to go, and then provide enthusiastic verbal praise. Replacing guesswork with a strict mathematical schedule prevents the puppy from ever having the opportunity to have an accident in their crate. Even with perfect planning, your puppy will likely cry at some point during the night. Do not let them cry it out. Ignoring them causes emotional distress and breaks the bond of trust you are trying to establish. If they cry, proactively check on them to see if they need an unscheduled potty break or simply a moment of comfort. If an accident does happen, follow this unbreakable rule. Never punish a puppy for a mess in the house or the crate. Rubbing a puppy's nose in a mess does not teach them where to go. It only teaches them to mistrust you. To clean up, soak the mess with a paper towel and take that towel outside to the designated potty spot. This creates a scent marker where you want them to go next. Back inside, use an enzymatic cleaner on the accident site. Regular cleaners leave behind trace scents that invite the puppy to repeat the offense. View setbacks as data points. An accident just means they need more frequent breaks. Patience will accelerate the timeline much faster than frustration. The immediate reward of this protocol is waking up the next morning to a dry crate and a calm puppy. This early success helps your puppy begin to learn the absolute rule of housebreaking. You never go in the house, and you always go outside. As your dog physically matures, they will naturally begin sleeping through the night and earning more uncrated freedom in your home. Surviving the first night is about more than avoiding a mess. It's about establishing a foundation of clear boundaries and lifelong trust with your new best friend.
We usually think of infectious diseases as the primary threat to a growing puppy, but behavioral problems, not illness, are the leading cause of death and relinquishment for dogs under 3 years of age. There is a common comfort in the idea that behavior is baked into the breed. Owners often assume a blue ribbon pedigree acts as a permanent guarantee of a stable, well-adjusted animal. However, data on biological performance suggests that a strict genetic heritage has its limits. In his landmark study of racehorses, researcher Dr. Cunningham found that speed was only about 35% heritable. This chart applies that same metric to the developing dog. Heritage accounts for roughly 1/3 of final capability, while the remaining 65% is environmental. That massive margin is locked in during the first 3 months of life. When owners rely on genetics to dictate behavior, they tend to overlook these fleeting developmental windows. This passive approach often results in a dog that lacks the necessary environmental exposure to remain stable as an adult. To maximize that 65% capacity, the U.S. military developed a protocol called the Biosensor Program. It was designed to influence neurological development beginning when the puppy is only 3 days old. At this age, the puppy is uniquely vulnerable. It is deaf, blind, and mostly immobile, unable to regulate its own body temperature. The program applies 5 brief, unnatural microstressors once per day. This includes tickling the toes, holding its head pointed down, and placing paws on cold towels. These stressors trigger a specific internal response. Mild pressure stimulates the pituitary and adrenal glands into early action. This builds a physiological foundation, improving cardiovascular performance and yielding a higher baseline tolerance for stress. Intentionally exposing a helpless infant to controlled stress creates a permanent biological change. It replaces fertility with a resilient nervous system that can withstand intense pressure later in life. Between 4 and 12 weeks of age, a puppy enters a critical socialization window. This is a fleeting period, similar to the imprinting phase discovered by Konrad Lorenz, where sociability naturally outweighs fear. Trainers maximize this cognitive openness through the rule of sevens. They ensure a puppy is exposed to at least 7 different surfaces, locations, and physical challenges while the brain is primed to accept them. This creates a clinical paradox. Cultural advice often suggests keeping a puppy isolated indoors until it is fully vaccinated to protect its developing immune system from disease. However, the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior states the risk of behavioral death from isolation is actually higher than infection risk. They recommend safe socialization begin long before the vaccine series is complete. Missing this 12-week window has lifelong consequences. An under-socialized dog often displays extreme fear and avoidance behavior toward harmless, everyday objects. Treating a puppy as a quarantined patient to protect its physical health often leaves its psychological health completely unprotected. Once that 12-week biological window closes, the process must move from passive exposure to active structure. This is where frameworks like Nothing in Life is Free provide essential psychological security. The mechanism is simple. The dog is required to sit or perform a basic command to earn access to daily rewards. Food, walks, and even petting are only provided after the dog complies. Relying on earned rewards creates a clear communication loop. The dog understands how to control its environment, which reduces frustration and makes aggressive corrections unnecessary. Predictable, earned rewards replace the anxiety of uncertainty. This structure provides the dog with the boundaries and environmental security it needs to stay calm in the human world. A dog that has been through this engineering process can navigate a loud, chaotic city with complete composure. Its heart rate remains steady, even as sirens pass and crowds surge. This resilience is a measurable result of the 65% margin. It is the cumulative effect of early adrenal stimulation, structured socialization, and clear communication. A resilient, well-adjusted dog is the result of humans recognizing and utilizing these specific biological windows. It is a companion built by design rather than by chance.